Hi, everyone. Welcome to What's Your Perspective? I'm Keith Harris, your host. And today we're going to be talking with Saulius Martinenas. He's with Midpoint Security and CredoID. But first, I want to make sure that you know where to find us. You can get to our previous episodes by joining us at lensec.com/live. You can also find us on social media. We broadcast live on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and also on YouTube. Saulius, thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Keith, and thanks for having me here today. I'm excited to join you for this interview.
Great. So I wanted you to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in security.
Well, actually, I started in security business not that long ago. It's perhaps 5 years since I've been with Midpoint. I previously happened to be a silent investor in the company and just had a career turn about 5 years ago. The company itself, though, it has been developing access control solutions since 2010. So the company is quite experienced in what it does. And I think the experience shows in the whole thing what we are going to be talking about today.
Great. And the product that you sell is CredoID. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right. So CredoID is our main product. It's an access control and security software. Primarily working on HID and Mercury security access control products, so controllers and extension modules mainly. As a security software, it also supports intrusion alarm system from Dutch company ASB Security. We also support numerous other devices, including wireless locks from ASA Abloy Group, as well as mobile ID readers and body temperature scanners from French company Copernic. So the software is a comprehensive suite of, let's say, hardware and software components meant to protect the properties, to manage the access for small and large enterprise companies.
Great. And you are a hardware agnostic software company, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. By that, we mean that we are open to integrate any hardware provider that is ready to cooperate with us. We have our open APIs, both on the front and back end, meaning that we can integrate both the devices and we can pass on the event data, the user data to the softwares that we work with, that we integrate with.
That's awesome. And we're excited to announce today the partnership between LENSEC, the company that I work with, and Midpoint Security. Recently, we have been working together on integrating our software with your software. Can you give us a little background on that?
Of course. So I must say that what excites me most about the cooperation between LENSEC and Midpoint Security is actually the professional approach towards how the products should work. It's no secret that any integration is usually driven by the customer demand. So again, this is something that we are always asking ourselves. So do our customers need this feature or that one or another? And the case with LENSEC and Perspective VMS integration, it started with a huge company requesting those systems working together. So we were extremely impressed by the professionalism of LENSEC team approaching the integration. We have had previously quite a few of integrations done already. However, LENSEC beat any expectations that our team had by speed and the quality of the integration they delivered. Getting the result done, and the result was getting access control from CredoID on supported HID controllers and readers, working through Perspective VMS interface within a matter of weeks. So that was impressive, and kudos, Keith.
Thank you so much. We're happy to be working with Midpoint Security and CredoID on the integration. Can you tell us a little bit about what the integration will do?
Sure. So as I mentioned previously, the CredoID offers the open API. It's a RESTful API, which allows any software, in this particular case, Perspective VMS, to access the functionality, the full functionality of CredoID access control. Meaning that we can pass the event data to Perspective VMS. We can also expose the controls, the rights, access rights-based controls to the operator of the system, meaning lock or unlock doors, enforce the lockdown, and then things like that, or trigger some alarms, perhaps even arming or disarming security alarms. And at the same time, we can also synchronize user data, access levels. So we can provide this information to the system, and then, of course, we pass the event data. So the integration gives Perspective VMS full control of the access system from Perspective VMS interface.
To date, I was looking earlier at some of the data that we have about the integration. To date, it looks like we've provided the ability to pull events from CredoID access systems, and that's available in the current version of our software, Perspective VMS version 4.3. We also have the ability now to import IP devices from CredoID software into PVMS for configuration. Coming up very soon with the next release of PVMS, which is scheduled for this month, we're planning for control of devices, and that gives us the ability from Perspective VMS to be able to send commands to those access control devices, such as locking, unlocking, and pulsing doors. And then just down the road, we're looking at being able to import cardholder images into Perspective VMS. This is helpful for operators that are using CredoID from the Perspective VMS software, so they'll be able to verify cardholders' images that are in the CredoID access control database with live video that is streaming through Perspective VMS. We'll be able to display how some of these simple operations work here in just a few minutes. We'll do a demonstration for you, but it really lends a lot of power to be able to co-operate some of the software, whether you're in CredoID or in Perspective VMS, does it not?
Oh, yes. I believe that's the beauty of well done software integration. So it works seamlessly, it works flawlessly. And from, I think so far we have had 3 projects or even more. And I haven't heard a single customer complaint that, okay, this is not something like we expected. So it's, again, a very nice and positive experience. And I think both you and I should give credit to our developers here.
Right. And that's one thing I wanted to bring up was the integration team here at LENSEC. We have a press release coming out about this today, so make sure that you check for the press release on this on your news channels. But Wasim Sawalha is our LENSEC team integration leader, and he says in this press release that Midpoint Security leverages access control hardware from different manufacturers like HID, Mercury panels, and ASB security devices. Saulius, you mentioned that earlier. But he says together, between Midpoint Security and LENSEC, we're able to provide a unified user experience. What does that mean to you, Saulius?
Well, to me, I would say that depending on which customer perspective you look at. So perhaps for us, first and foremost, the customer is the integrator. And for the integrator, the unified experience, it means time savings when deploying the system, when preparing that system, configuring it, and when maintaining the system later. For the end user, for the operator of the final solution, it also means ease of use, feeling at home at the monitoring station, meaning that you don't have to learn 20 different interfaces. You don't have to go and look for 20 different settings pages when you want to change something, but you have exactly what you need, where you need it, and when you need it. So understandably, if the integration is done well, like we have the experience in this case, the end user should be feeling that they have all the information that's required at their fingertips. So I believe that what we just listed as the data exchange, as the feature access from one system to another, are exactly the testimonials of that solution done well.
Right, and Perspective VMS is hardware agnostic as well. So when you're approaching a project with two pieces of software that are hardware agnostic, that really puts a lot of power in the hands of the end user. Perhaps they already have cameras deployed at their system. Perhaps they already have access control hardware deployed at their system. Now, with two open platform softwares, one managing access control and one managing video surveillance, and unifying those two systems together, now they're able to leverage equipment that they already have deployed with new operating systems for access control and video surveillance. So I think that that unified experience really brings a lot of power there to the end user.
Absolutely. I agree here with you on that. Our own experience shows that one of the key elements that our customers are looking for is something that would prevent a hardware and software lock-in, meaning that they perfectly well understand that with closed systems, even if the initial capex on the system might be lowered, but quite often, or in absolute majority of the cases, their total spend on system, let's say, growth, maintenance, additional services will grow very quickly through the years with any expansion, any request, any addition, etc., etc.
That's great.
For Midpoint approach, as we already spoke about, we support first and foremost the equipment that is famous for it being open in the first place. Then we provide the tools for the integrators to even add some features to the software by themselves. So meaning we not just keep the system open for the integrations of other hardware or support legacy systems, for instance. Many closed systems don't do that. We do support legacy devices from HID and from Mercury. In addition to that, we provide the ability to script to write even their own features and little additions to the software for the integrators themselves or even the end users. So we are truly an open system, and I believe that this is one of the core value elements that we offer.
That's great. Well, I didn't want to get to talking too much without actually showing what we can do, and I'm going to show this from Perspective VMS software. So let me share my screen here, and I'll be able to give a quick demo of what we can do together between LENSEC and Midpoint Security with the CredoID access control software and with Perspective VMS. So I have Perspective VMS open right now, and we're looking at the camera viewer. So this is really nice. I'm going to change this camera out and add something else in here that will be helpful. Let's change this to PTZ camera in the back. And when I have this up, what I'm looking at here is the LENSEC office. This is located in Houston, Texas. I'm away from the office right now, operating this remotely. We have a very limited staff in the office these days because of the pandemic. But we do have some people coming and going, and so I'll be able to show you some activity here. We're looking here at the front entrance of the office, at the hallways, and then at a back office right here. So what you're looking at here is the main entry for the building, and we've got a couple of access control doors in here. When you're in Perspective VMS and you take a look right here at the action button, you can click on this and open up the device that you want to control. When I click right here at the main entrance, I can lock, unlock, or pulse this door from this software remotely. Even though I'm not in the building right now, I can pulse this door. And you'll notice here when I press the pulse button, it's going to, you won't be able to see much happen within the screen view here, except you'll see a couple of things occur. You'll see two windows pop up that are driven by workflows. These are automated processes that we've set up within Perspective VMS that will show a pop-up video. No matter what I'm looking at on the software, these pop-up videos will show and indicate to me as a user that an access control card has been swiped. So I'm going to press the pulse button right here. This door pulses, and if somebody were outside the door, they'd be able to come through. Also notice here that we have two cameras images that have popped up. These are driven by workflows, as I just mentioned. So those will eventually time out and go away. I'm just going to close them down right now so that they're out of our way. The nice thing here in being able to use the access control system and drive this directly from the picture is I'll be able to make a decision on who's standing at the door, whether I want to let them in or not. I have video verification right here. So that's really helpful. The other thing that we can see here is when we look at the map page of Perspective VMS, we have the same functionality right here from the map page. So you'll notice here a couple of doors that are placed on the map. These doors are access control doors. And again, I can lock, unlock, or pulse those doors right from the map. I also have a pop-up window, a hover and pop-up live stream that can show from these locations as I hover over the camera locations. So I can either pulse those doors from the camera viewer or from the map. And as simple as just hovering over that icon and then clicking pulse. And again, you'll notice some pop-up windows that will occur here and start live streaming video. So it makes it very simple when you're looking at that and you have multiple places that you can access the door control. What do you think about that, Saulius?
Sure, absolutely. I can add to this that the floor plan or the map is perhaps the most favorite part of any monitoring system, or at least the security and access control system, because it's being requested by almost every single customer. And the convenience is that especially for people who are little familiar, let's say security guards who are changing on the premises, it's very easy for them to identify exactly the location where something happening, and being able to see immediately and verify access control or the burglary event if it happens. It helps them react instantly, and they know spot on where they have to go, where they have to look at, and what they have to check. So that's absolutely a top feature, I would say, in any solution for company large and small.
That's great. I wanted to show here the side events panel right here. This is a nice feature that we have in Perspective VMS that allows people to be able to see what kind of activity is happening. This is where you can search and filter for any type of door events, whether it be a forced door or a valid access or anything like that. I can filter this down and search for specific. Let's say I know I was in the office last week between Wednesday and between Friday. So I'm going to look and search here for activity that occurred between those dates. I could even search for my name here and be able to search and find activity where I was in the office. If I look right here, here's some valid events from some people that were in the office. There was one right here where I was coming in to the office. You can see this is the video that's occurring that is associated with the card swipe at the door. So even after the fact, I'm able to verify this activity and see what's occurring. If I wanted to go straight into archives and take a look at that, I could go straight from that panel into the archive video to be able to see the view that occurred and be able to play these videos simultaneously side by side. So it really does lend a lot of power here for the user and for the system administrators and for even forensic investigators to be able to see what's occurred here, either live while it's occurring or in the past.
And I believe this saves a lot of time for anyone doing the investigation, since you have very specific checkpoints, which you can validate instantly, meaning that you have the specific event which you can identify, and then you can find it instantly on the video. So it's a time saver feature.
Definitely. Of course, real-time situational awareness helps. With the map feature, we have the camera dock below so that you can keep a heads-up view of what's going on with any location at any time. That is really helpful. And having the integration here with access control really makes a big difference in being able to actively manage a location while an event is occurring, or even after the fact, like I said, with the forensic investigation. There's a lot of capabilities here, and when you pair video management with access control, you really step up the game in terms of being able to see what's going on. PVMS can pull in and manage reports from access control so that administrators can pull those reports and see what activity has occurred, and even run an audit log on users of the system to see what's happening with the system on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, of course. The audit logs are absolute must for any high trustworthiness system. So on CredoID side, you have full information of every single change, every single action by the operators done to the system. So again, joint systems provide very detailed, very minute activity information to the auditors if that is needed.
That's great. Anything big coming up for Midpoint Security?
Well, as a team, we are aiming for quarterly releases and updates to the system. So in terms of additions and new features for the release of second quarter of 2021, we are moving Active Directory integration to kind of become a centerpiece of our system. We are expanding the feature, making many more fields and synchronization options available. So I would say this is a big one. We have also expanded our access level management. We have added holiday features to schedule management. So you can give special access and exceptions, create exceptions to access levels. Also, in the roadmap for this year, we have some highlight features, I would say. There are some plans for new hardware support. I don't want to disclose it at the moment. However, another plan is to add Origo Mobile ID portal support directly to our software. So this is a solution for virtual mobile IDs from HID. We do support them now in our software, of course. However, we want to make the management of them easier and more accessible to the end users. So as I put in the very beginning, we want to make it easy, comfortable, and seamless.
That's great, Saulius. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Keith. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Right. We really appreciate Midpoint Security and the partnership that we have, that LENSEC has with your company. We're excited about the future integration possibilities and partnerships that we can move forward using CredoID and Perspective VMS. It's an exciting time to be part of the physical security industry.
Definitely so. So I look forward to the new projects that we are going to have together.
Yes. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Make sure you go by our website and take a look at previous episodes of What's Your Perspective. That's at lensec.com/live. Also, please follow us, like, share, comment on social media. You can find us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on YouTube. That's What's Your Perspective. Thanks for joining us.